Marco, ma tu fai big?
Eccoci qua, allora buongiorno, siamo con gli ospiti. Voi sapete che stasera ci sarà una serata di premiazione con TV Sorrisi e Canzoni per quello che riguarda la fiction edit. I lettori di TV Sorrisi e Canzoni hanno assegnato 2 premi internazionali. I premi internazionali sono andati a questi 2 grandissimi interpreti che ho l'onore e il privilegio di avere qui al mio fianco. Incominciamo subito con le vostre domande, così non vi faccio, cerchiamo di recuperare il tempo perduto nei primi minuti di questa mattina. Prego, alzate la mano e siamo qui. Prego, il microfono. Vi chiedo sempre. Prego.
Sono qui. Sono Giulia Sandra Virsa, corrispondente Romania. In Romania da un po' di anni va Sex and the City. 90% è guardato dalle donne. Come si spiega? Io dico che gli uomini sono complessati, forse, anche per quello.
I think everyone has complexes, not just men, unfortunately, not just women. The thing that I love about the series is it's a particular post-feminism message about women and how they're dealing with not just men, but with their lives, with their careers, and with intimacy and with each other, about friendship. So it was once explained to me that the 4 characters make up one complete woman at any given situation or period of the day. And I think this is really why it is, for me, such a special program, because I really never saw anything so specifically for women.
Abbiamo 2 domande da parte di Roberto Leofrigio, prego.
Rappresento il 5% che vedeva la serie, quindi...
In Romania però, scusami.
Sì, infatti.
Devi fare anche un viaggio ogni settimana, prego.
No, invece una domanda proprio per Kim, per i progetti futuri, eccetera. Lei più volte ha dichiarato anche di problema di Hollywood, per, diciamo, si arriva a una certa età, non certo il suo caso, però c'è difficoltà ad avere un ruolo e così via. Quindi in certo senso, penso, anche nel film c'è stata un po' una rivincita, in questo senso, alla fine. E poi anche per Christopher...
Aspetta un attimo, facciamo rispondere e poi ti lasciamo il microfono, prego.
I definitely, it's so interesting that you are honoring today Helen Mirren, who is a woman definitely not in her 20s or her 30s or her 40s. And I think that this is a wonderful change. I think in Europe, you know, I look at these wonderful actresses like Jean Moreau, for instance, who has had a career throughout her life. And I see something like a film, Sex and the City, where one of the main characters turns 50, which in America is really evolutionary. And I think for me as an actor, I want to start to produce, because then I can, if not the material is out there, then I can be part of creating something that will give me work that is not just more than the leading man's ex-wife or some crazy aunt that appears for 2 scenes and then on the cutting room floor. So I think things are changing. I think it's gradual. I want to be part of that change. I'm so glad that I have been thus far, and I hope it continues.
Adesso la domanda per me.
Christopher invece se ci può proprio illustrare, cioè ci può presentare il lavoro, insomma, qualcosa che noi stiamo ancora vedendo nella sua opera, di quello che ha fatto adesso qui.
Sì, no, insomma, dei progetti anche
esatto,
della serie,
dei progetti della serie, quello che sta partecipando.
Anche per
esatto. Yes, I have the rights to a British television series that Joanna Lumley did about a woman in her 60s, and for me it's a woman in her 50s going through a midlife crisis. I also, because this is something that Christopher and I both have in common, we both like to do theater. There's really wonderful classical roles for women in theater. So for me to go back and do a classic, whether it's Shakespeare or Chekhov, these roles are readily available, and so I mix it up with things that I can produce, and hopefully projects that are in the mix in Hollywood, and also these wonderful roles in theater.
Mr. Melloni, what about your work? Do you have other projects apart from the series, or the series will continue?
Well, right now the series, we're starting our 10th year in the United States. Just celebrated our 200th episode. For me personally, I have 4 or 5 movies out, or will be coming out. Just enough time, you know. These are the types of things that you can do during my hiatus. So, you know, little bit parts, a lot of different things, comedies, dramas, and right now I'm in the editing bay, cutting together a movie I directed.
Can we know something about the title?
It's called National Lampoon's Dirty Movie. And it's all of the above.
Volevo notare una cosa che
with her co-star.
No, una cosa importante, la signora Cattrall faceva riferimento all'amore per il teatro che vi accomuna. Quanto è importante per voi, che siete così famosi a livello mondiale, a livello televisivo, poi a un certo punto salire su un palcoscenico? Che differenza c'è nella percezione, nel rapporto col pubblico? E che cosa vi dà a livello personale?
Oh, it's quite extraordinary for me, because I started in the theater and I wasn't really interested in making films because I didn't really know anything about it. And theater was in my hometown, but movie studios were way south of the border. I was born in England and I grew up in Canada, so most of my formative experiences were watching British theater in the West End or at Stratford, or Stratford, Canada. So for me, this is what I wanted, and I continued to work in theater and then a little bit of film so I could pay my rent. But it was extraordinary because when I did the series, coming back to theater, people had a very specific idea of who I am as a person, not just as an actor. And I think that can be a very challenging thing, because I think as an actor you want to play a variety of roles, to access a lot of different things about being human and creating those different characters. And I think for me, going back to the theater after this series was the best thing to do, because it allowed me to play different roles and allowed people to accept me more just as this iconic character that I had played for 7 years. So for me, it feels like going home. I feel very happy to be in front of a live audience. I think when I do films or television, I feel like our crew is the audience, and if they're not laughing or they're not engaged, then I think, well, I don't know if this is going to work, because to me, acting is an alive thing. So when I go back to the theater, I feel incredibly happy. I can't wait to get and do the 8 shows a week. But at the same time, I have, and it has also liberated me to do more things since the series ended. So I like to mix it up. I'm hoping to do a film in September, a small film, and then go back to doing a classic piece in next year. So I think for me, it's always about challenging. What keeps me interested, what keeps me alive as an actor.
Yeah, the difference for me is anytime I act on film, television, there are 1,000 cooks in the